Welcome to Time Well Spent, a podcast from LaborSync, the only real-time, multilingual timesheet software your business will ever need. So today, we're going to do a deep dive to hunt down what we call the silent productivity killers. These aren't, some huge system failure. They're the small, outdated habits, the manual processes that are just quietly draining efficiency, time, and morale from small businesses.
Right. It's the stuff that people just assume is part of the job.
Exactly. And we're going to unpack this by following the whole life cycle of time management.
And, it's fascinating where that friction really begins. It's at the very moment of tracking labor.
Okay.
If you're still relying on things like paper timesheets or punch cards, you're basically building your entire payroll system on quicksand.
Quicksand, how so?
Well, the process itself encourages inaccuracy because it's not immediate. If an employee is filling out their timesheet hours after they left, they're forced to guess.
Right, like, did I leave at 5:30 or was it closer to 6:20?
Exactly. And that little bit of guesswork immediately creates payroll discrepancies. It's not good for the business, and it's not good for the employee.
And the administrative waste, it must be enormous.
Oh, it is.
It's not just the employee's guess, it's the manager who then has to spend time deciphering, 5 different handwritings on a soggy piece of paper.
At 4.55 on a Friday, no less. Our LaborSync blog article calls this a cascade of inefficiencies for a reason. It really does just flow downhill from that one bad process.
And that cascade, I assume, hides some pretty serious risks.
It does. The manual process trap isn't just about a few data entry errors. It's about these really costly, nuanced mistakes hiding in plain sight.
Like what?
Well, think about complex labor laws, like in California, with their required meal break deductions or specific double overtime rules. Doing those calculations by hand, verifying them, it's just an open invitation for a costly mistake. You're almost guaranteed to miscalculate overtime or miss a key deduction at some point.
Okay, so that's the back office. What about on the front lines? Well, that's where you get into schedule confusion.
Right. This isn't just a typo on a whiteboard. It's when the communication just breaks down. A schedule changes and suddenly 2 people show up for the same shift.
Or worse, nobody shows up for a critical one.
And that has a domino effect, right?
A huge one. A missed shift means a manager has to scramble, either cover the gap themselves or pay someone last-minute overtime. Labor costs spike instantly.
And customer service suffers.
Customer service suffers, and you're stuck in this reactive management style. You're not planning for tomorrow because you're too busy putting out today's fires.
And speaking of costs, this is where the data gets really jarring. The overtime creep.
Yeah.
We're talking about those little untracked overages. The employee who clocks in 10 minutes early or stays 15 minutes late, it accumulates.
Invisibly.
Invisibly. And the stat from our research is, frankly, a wake-up call. An employee who works just 30 minutes of unplanned overtime per week costs a business an extra 26 hours of overtime pay per year.
And you don't notice that until payroll is already way too high.
And that right there, that lack of real-time knowledge, that defines the most insidious killer of all. The visibility gap.
The visibility gap.
It's the core problem. It's not knowing who is working, where they are, and when as it's happening. If you can't see that an employee is 15 minutes into unplanned overtime right now, you can't do anything about it.
You're just firefighting again.
Always firefighting. Visibility lets you optimize. A lack of it forces you to just react.
Okay, so what does this actually mean for you listening? The solution seems to be auditing these processes.
And modernizing them.
Yeah. Because that compound effect works both ways, right? When you eliminate these killers, the improvements also start to compound.
That's it. Digital time tracking gets you accuracy. Automated scheduling stops the confusion. And real-time reports give you that visibility you need to actually control costs.
It's not just about saving time on payroll, is it?
No, not at all. The ultimate goal is freeing up your mental bandwidth. The blog article really stresses this. A business owner's time is their most valuable resource. When you automate these routine tasks, you stop chasing paper and start focusing on strategic growth. You're actually moving the business forward.
So the first step is just making the invisible visible, documenting the real cost of these manual processes.
You have to see the problem to fix it.
The critical question for you, the listener, is whether you can afford not to move off these dated processes when the cost of inaction is compounding against your bottom line every single day. This episode of Time Well Spent was brought to you by LaborSync. Track employee hours and job site locations in real time from any device. Start your risk-free trial today at laborsync.com.